Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. I'm not quite sure why, but you got a biceps flex for today's intro, so you're very welcome. I just watched a video from MrBeast when he spent 7 days in solitary confinement. He was in some kind of very sterile looking cell, and I'm gonna tell you why you should try, well, not exactly that, but something like that. So first of all, of course, MrBeast is rich as hell, so he could create this studio where they actually built a cell and he's surrounded by his team and they're sending trays of food to him somehow through the wall. And of course, most of us can't do it that way. But I've actually been thinking of doing something like just being locked inside a room with nothing really to do for a few days. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm someone that's into fasting, so prolonged fasting, which mainly is about food. It's about going a few days without eating. But fasting is a concept too. It really just means refraining from something. So you can fast from anything, right? Anything you consume or anything you do. So it could be me, for instance, I drink coffee. I use snus, these Swedish nicotine pouches you put under the lip, like the real one, not those white shitty ones that you have all over the place these days. But this is something I can fast from because I think it's something that's okay to use in moderation, but I use it too much sometimes, so I can fast from that. You can fast from your phone. We're all on our phones all the time. You can, if you need your phone for work, you can fast from social media, you see. And I think this is a good idea to do things like this every once in a while, because in the modern world, where most of us we're overstimulated and everything is just oversaturated. Like stimulation and just some kind of input, it's so readily available, you know, food, the phone, just having access to all the social media, just entertainment and rewards like dopamine kicks. It's available in our pocket at all times. So a great way, you know, anything like the stimulants I mentioned there, caffeine and nicotine that I use, the best way for me to be able to enjoy a lower level is to take it away completely. And when I get it back, I'll be happy with much less, right? Well, this goes for everything else. So what I think this does, we're talking just overstimulation in general, but a lot from the phone, is that it, of course, shortens our attention span. You know, I don't even want to think. But I'm 31 now, people that are like 10 years younger than me, growing up with TikTok and all these shits, you know, watching 7-second clips and thinking they're too long, switching clip, if it doesn't entertain you immediately. But of course, it also makes us kind of addicted to being stimulated. We get bored and even depressed very easily. So, of course, a great way to kind of reset our attention span and just our level for the level of dopamine, the input entertainment we're happy with, is to just stay away from all those things for an extended amount of time. And so this doesn't have to be locking yourself in a cell for 7 days, but I'll tell you what I've done a few times, something that's called dopamine fasting. So there is no exact rules for dopamine fast, but it would be you that decide, like these things that I think I do a bit too much, or I just want to see if I can be without, or that I want to reduce the level I use them, or I'm involved with them, whatever the thing is, you know, these things I'll stay away from. And so I would often recommend to do a food fast. So I just went off, I finished a year, I have a Christmas fast, 5 days away from food. It wasn't really a dopamine fast, but that's always going to be a major one. Like if you're going to fast from things, if you can fast from food too, that's really the most intense fasting experience, and it does so much to your body. Many things that I won't go into in this video. But you don't have to technically do a dopamine fast when you stay away from food. But since I practice this already, I will stay away from food when I fast from anything else. But so what I've done different variations. But as I mentioned, for me, my stimulants there, the nicotine and caffeine, will go away on a dopamine fast. I've also done it completely without the phone. And instead of locking myself in a room, what I did was I went out to a summer house that's in my family, but no one else was there. And I'm just out in this house, not eating, not using my stimulants, I'm not even on my phone, and I just have to entertain myself, be there for a few days. And then when I come back, well, I'm much more aware of my phone usage. Like I will notice, I will actually catch myself when I go into autopilot, when I'm just bored, you know, and take up the phone, like, I don't have anything to do on here, put it down, you know. And I just notice better focus, like it's easier when I've had several days, you know, of this, being so bored, not doing anything really, plus taking away the food and all that. You're kind of grateful even to have little boring, mundane tasks to focus on. So I found myself just being able to be, you know, disciplined with those kinds of things. And we take the stimulants, I can always be happy using them at a lower level. And yeah, and I will do this kinds of fast every once in a while when I just feel like, you know, either I'm from stress, I go into old patterns with how I use these stimulants. I've just gradually started using the phone more, and I just feel like when I know this is the fucking 5th time I'm scrolling through and seeing the same shit on Instagram, something needs to change here. Well, that's when I'll do a dopamine fast like that. So while this video with MrBeast, I didn't find it all that interesting, or 20 minutes long, and it's so much more like goofy, like, look at me, I'm trying this thing. Like, I guess that's entertaining and that, but I would have loved to hear more about his experience, especially afterwards, you know. Because of course he was just, you know, not going crazy literally, but being very bored and just yelling and throwing things because he has literally nothing to do. So you don't have to do exactly that, but I completely see the reason to do something like that, not just as a like cool game, oh, I wonder if I can do it. And you will come back with everything you know, being happy at a lower level, better focus, better mental clarity, better awareness, all things like that. So yeah, I love fasting from food, but it's a great concept. Just things you do too much, removing them every once in a while is a very good idea to keep your use in check. So yeah, guys, have you tried something like that, the dopamine fast or something? Let me know in the comments and like the video. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscles, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Be different in this. Like, people are struggling with the same kinds of problem, this no attention span, being on the phone all the time and that. Be different. Do a dopamine fast. Peace.